this is our 6th episode for Basil, the King of Thieves, in Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. Last time, Basil fixed a chicken into a real boy. He took out a blue lady who would have poisoned us. He took out a mad priest of an evil god with the power of charm, and he killed some spiders. And now it's time for Basil to do the hardest thing anyone could ask him to do. Make some friends. Okay, maybe not friends per se, maybe more of work colleagues would be more appropriate. Our goal is to pick up a priest of our own, a tough warrior to act as our
You
tank,
don't help me.
and another thief who can lay down traps and then disarm them. And finally, we want to try getting a mage who can cast spells and hopefully survive long enough to actually be
serve the flaming fist.
This first character we're going to pick up is Viconia. Viconia is a drow, which means that she's basically like an evil elf. Now, when I say, evil dark elf, I don't mean like necessarily that they're misunderstood or that they're like, oh, well, they are just different. No, it's like straight up drow culture that will be explored in Baldur's Gate 2 is pretty evil. So, and she kind of fits the bill. Now, Viconia is a cleric, so you'll notice that she's casting a lot of spells that will put this Flaming Fist character to sleep. And then she's going to thank us for risking our lives on her behalf, and obviously she's going to say that she's being judged everywhere she goes, which, I mean, knowing the drow, it kind of goes without saying. But she actually worships a different god, different goddess than who the drow worship. So, because we need a character, we're going to go ahead and take her in. Now, what's going to happen is when we take her in, we actually lose some reputation because we're traveling around with somebody who is basically
give me power.
Regarded as very evil just from the look of her. But we see that she has 32,000 experience points, and she's a cleric with 10 strength, 19 in dexterity, only an 8 in constitution, 16 intelligence, 18 wisdom, and 14 charisma. So she has a fantastic dexterity and wisdom, pretty decent intelligence, and a really bad constitution. So we see that she has access to level 1, level 2, and level 3 cleric spells. And we're going to go ahead and take a combination of disabling spells as well as some buffing spells, and also some healing spells to make sure that we don't get into trouble. One of my favorite spells is Animate Dead, which is a little bit different from the standard version, but she will have access to that spell, and skeletons are actually a great summon to use, especially when facing against opponents who have bows and arrows. We're going to give her the magic mace that can stun an opponent, and then we're going to pick up our next party member, who is going to be our party tank, and this is Kagan.
Sure.
Kagan is a small-time business owner in Baragost.
Greetings.
He's a dwarf.
I am Kagan.
So
What can I
he
do
basically
for you?
runs an escort business. He hires mercenaries, and he's been called up to try to investigate one of the caravans in the area. And since we're looking for more money and we're looking for a new companion, we're interested in kind of following up on this. Now, there's a particular noble who has been one of the passengers on one of these caravans, a guy named Silver Shield. He is the son of the one of the Grand Dukes of Baldur's Gate, which to the north of us, and unfortunately that caravan's gone missing. So he's going to ask us to try to investigate this. And because of that, he's going to join with us. He's going to have somebody else run the shop. And we see that he also gets a level up because he is also
I don't
at
wanna talk.
32,000 XP. He's a fighter who has a 16 strength, a 12 dexterity, a stunning 20 in constitution, which is higher than any other character can have in the game, 15 intelligence, an 11 wisdom, and an 8 charisma. So he not only is a fantastic tank, but he's pretty decent in doing damage as well. Although there are other fighters that can do more damage than Kagan. The purpose of us taking him is to be the guy who is truly the front line of fighting.
Sure.
So we see that
Sure.
the area north of Baragost has a lot of, I'm going to say, a lot of caravans that have been sacked already, and a lot of potential bandits. We see there's a caravan bandit. Gibberlings somehow aren't fighting the bandits, which I think is a little bit strange, but you know, they want to make it a challenge for the player.
Someone else.
And we're going to approach this caravan bandit leader. I, by the way, have Basil stealthed, so now we're going to engage with these guys. And you're going to see that Kagan really shines in melee. You know who doesn't shine in melee? Basil.
I need an ale.
We'll see what happens. We're going to have Viconia we forgot to rest. So Viconia has one healing spell. And of course those Gibberlings have come right out. The Gibberlings I'm not super concerned about, but I am a little bit worried now that Basil's taking some hits. And we want to move him out of combat while we also have Viconia make her way over to the side.
Okay.
My goal is to just have Kagan there taking the brunt of the melee damage while Basil and Viconia pepper the opponents with archery fire. I have Viconia armed with a sling, which is a fantastic distance weapon for clerics, also for mages too. Just keeping in mind that, you know, they're not experts at doing damage from a range, but they are pretty, you know, it's a good way to keep them safe and also to give a little bit of support to the melee fighters, like Kagan. We see that we cleaned up that area pretty well. We didn't have to go kiting around, we didn't have to go running around. Now this is where the game is going to pick up some speed, pick up the jewels and the artifacts, also those precious bandit scalps, which are always nice to sell, especially later on. There's going to be a particular person we're going to sell those to for 50 gold
I don't
pop.
want to talk.
Now Kagan, of course, realizing that he's kind of screwed because Silver Shield's son is dead, and so now he's basically, his business is kind of seen as a garbage business. Lots of negative Yelp reviews, I'm sure, from those people who are still alive. And so he's like, yeah, let's just continue to travel with Basil. So this is Eddard Silver Shield's fibula. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that. But anyway, Kagan, of course we can take on the ogre to the north, and that gets us a nice quest item for when we go to the Friendly Arm Inn. It's actually a quest that we're not going to actually turn in. I'll explain why a little bit later, but first we're going to grab this ring. That's a magical ring. It's going to be a +1 ring.
Oh, there, wanderer.
And we're going to chat with the old man. We, of course, know that this is Elminster, but Basil doesn't quite know this. So the old man, of course, is asking about why on earth he would be traveling and what would cause an intelligent person to travel like this. And of course, Basil's response is not nearly as desperate as earlier responses are. He's got a few hit points under his belt. We're actually going to head back to the original starting area, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to actually pick up Emwyn at this point.
Hey,
Emwyn's going to be our second
It's me,
thief.
Emwyn.
And it's going to be as if she just ran into us right after Candlekeep. Of course, we know it's probably been a few days. And
You're a
Emwyn,
queer fellow.
unfortunately,
What
did
you
not
want?
level up to the same level. She got up to level 2, which is nice. And we're going to put those points into Find Traps, because that's our party's need right now. She's going to act as another archer for the group.
I care not.
And from there, we're going to head up to the Friendly Arm Inn. From there, we're going to pick up this ring here. This ring will be
They
very
will
useful
cut you
when we
down
get a
to
wizard.
size.
And we're going to make the circle around the Friendly Arm Inn in order to get the ring for a little bit of XP. Bring in that ring here.
Yes?
Now, you may have noticed that Viconia and Kagan are evil. So they actually don't really like us having a positive reputation, which is something that's very strange to me, right? It's very
Yes?
strange that they can't see the benefit of
Good on you if you saved the day.
getting a nice, reduction in costs on things for having a good reputation.
You bunch of chumps. What the hell do you think you was doing?
Again, no real reason. We're also going to need to make our way past Tarnish. I have Basil cloaked in shadow.
I need an ale.
We're going to
Why
move everybody
me?
up so that we can handle Tarnish.
Hi,
Tarnish
friend.
is going to move up to chat with Kagan
Okay.
because he somehow thinks he's
I
me.
don't-
He
why
somehow thinks he's a
me?
human thief.
May darkness
I've
prevail.
done had enough
Stupid,
of this.
actually. Kagan's a businessman. He's going to be a little bit honest, even if he doesn't want to talk. And at this point, we're going to face off against Tarnish. Hopefully we'll do better than we did last time, and it looks like we did. It's a pretty good hit. And I did triple damage, backs down. We get that spell book. Emmelin's going to ask us about it. There's really no reason not to let her have it and try it out. Again, this is only accessible through the NPC's interactions mod, so I would strongly recommend downloading that. I think it adds a lot of personality to the NPCs, especially to Emwyn. When they created the original game, Emwyn didn't have much of a personality. She was kind of just like, came up with extra things, but this, of course, adds up to Kagan's personality as well. Again, the NPC project adds a bunch of these little interactions here or there, and it's I think it's a really nice addition. The nice part about Baldur's Gate 2 is Baldur's Gate 2 naturally includes more of these interactions than in the original game. So we're also going to go up. We identified some of the items in the temple, as well as got a little bit of healing. And Joppy, of course, asks about the roads, and he gets annoyed. We're gonna ask him about what is about why the roads are cut off, and of course he's gonna give us a little bit of insight about the bandits and the iron crisis, how the bandits are actually after people's iron. We're gonna ask about the West Road, which of course leads to Candlekeep, our childhood home, and he says that they basically want to keep that open in case people need to go there to get books. And since there's no real metal going that way, there's no reason to worry about closing it. And of course, now there's Jaheira and Khalid.
How long
Let's
must
talk to
we
them real
wait
quick.
here? Things stir
Now,
to the south
if you
as we
watched
sit.
watched my guide on Etienne, you know that we actually traveled with Jaheira and Khalid earlier, which they were pretty decent companions. However, we are trying to expand our roster and try out different companions. So, aside from Emlyn, we're actually not going to take any of the companions we had last time, which means we're not going to take Khalid and Jaheira this time. So we're going to say that I would rather choose my future and leave Gorian's past behind me. I'll find my way on my own. And I'm sure they're taken a little bit aback by that. Emwyn's also taken aback by that. But I actually like this response, is that we don't want them to get involved. I actually kind of like that. And then we can also say, Emwyn, you are already involved, so, you're coming even if I could get you out. You're gonna stick around.
Okay.
So with that, we're actually gonna go upstairs. We're actually not gonna talk to this guy, Unshay. Unshay, normally you could turn in this belt here. This belt is Elf's Bane, which gives a bonus AC to missile and piercing damage. We're actually not going to turn it in now. I'm going to explain why later on when we're ready. But I want to hold on to that belt specifically. This is Landrin. Landrin is, of course, the owner of the house that has the spider infestation in Baragos. He's going to give us a ton of antidotes, which is nice. And we're going to turn in a ton of those
stout
items
hammer will fix most
for
any
a bit of
bandit.
gold and a bit of XP, which is pretty awesome.
You cannot get better than the stability
So
stone
the
walls
items that you're looking
provide.
for, obviously, you're looking for the body of the spider. You're looking for the bottle of wine.
A stout
You're
hammer
looking
will
for
fix most any
and
bandit.
you're looking for the shoes. That way, Landrin's happy. She
pester
has all
someone
the
else.
items from home, and you get the coin from it, which is pretty awesome. Kagan, of course, has a nice interaction here with Emwyn. They talk about their time at Candlekeep. And Kagan kind of addresses the fact that it's interesting how they hang out around a bunch of bookish types, monks and all that, yet they're not, neither Basil nor Emwyn are necessarily the bookish type. Viconia has a little interaction the first time we rest, kind of seeing how successful we are. Viconia, I have the feeling I don't want to be too nice with her, but at the same time I want to kind of welcome, I don't want to, straight up insult her, right? So I'm actually going to kind of feed into her natural bloodlust. Remember, most of my companions that I'm doing for these playthroughs are true neutral, so I'm going to have the opportunity to kind of dabble a little bit into the dark side if I want to. With that, we're going to rest. And then once we rest, we'll have all of our spells ready. We'll be ready to head on out. We're going to head down south, and I think we're going to do a little bit of exploring along the coastline before making our way down to Nashkel to really get on with the story. We still need to get our mage, and we will definitely do that either next time or the time after. That'll be it for today. Feel free to check out my other content, such as my starter guides and my playthrough videos. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and good luck. We're all counting on you.